Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, I gotta admit, I got up this morning and had no idea what I wanted to do for our vlog today until I got outside and started looking around. It turns out that I have pecan trees in the front yard, and about 4 months ago they all started dropping their leaves and made a huge mess, but that all kind of stopped. And then I figured that was probably the end of it. Well, when I got outside today in the backyard, it turns out one of the trees in the backyard is in a phase now where it's dropping its leaves, and it is just thick on the ground. Now, I don't know if this is a result of the cold blast that came through here a couple weeks ago, or just something that naturally happens this time of year every year, but the leaves are just thick on the ground right now, and if I do this is going to kill off my lawn. So I've decided I want to do something, and I have a choice. I can either rake all this, and I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Or there's another option. I've been noticing for a while there's an attachment for the lawnmower I have that's a bagger assembly, and basically I can attach it to the lawnmower and just run the lawnmower up, and it basically turns the lawnmower into a yard vacuum. And I've been looking at these things for a while because I was thinking about it even last fall when the pecan trees were dropping the leaves all over the place, but I really didn't have a good image in my head of how the thing worked with the lawnmower. Well, I did a little bit more research this morning and actually have a pretty good idea how it works right now, and it isn't terribly expensive. So I think today, because I got to do something about this is a mess, and it's not going to do anything but get worse, because let's face it, half the leaves aren't off this tree yet, and I don't know if this one's doing it too, but we'll have to kind of figure that out. But I know this one is dropping leaves like crazy, and even if this is just a fluky thing this year because of the Arctic blast that blew through here a couple weeks ago, I still think I want to have a leaf vacuum to deal with the mess in the front yard, because pecan trees, they drop a lot of leaves too. So I've noticed they have them over at Home Depot, and I'm going to go pick up one, and we're going to get that installed on the mower today. So let's go to Home Depot. Alright, so I'm back from Home Depot. I got the bagger, managed to get the thing in the car. This box is bigger than I thought it would be, but I was hoping I could put it in the trunk, but there's no way that was going to happen. But I managed to just barely squeeze it into the back seat of the car. So we got it home, and now I brought this bad boy into the garage, and we are going to try and install this thing. Now, like I said before, I was a little concerned about how all this worked, because I wasn't really sure how it all attached to the back of the lawnmower. It is actually made by the Troy-Bilt company, so it's designed to work specifically with this mower. But all of the pictures I could find, even the stuff that's on the Troy-Bilt website, didn't really demonstrate how it all worked together. But I began looking a little bit harder today, and I went on the Home Depot website, and it turned out the Home Depot website, on the section that discussed this device, really had a nice little video that showed how to quickly put the thing together. And I said, okay, I see how this all works, and this can work. So that was really the deal breaker that made me make me want to go get this thing. And so now I'm going to go put this thing together. I'm going to actually refer to the manual, because that's, I know guys don't usually do that, but and I have looked at the video. It doesn't seem that difficult, but I'm still going to go through the process and actually make it look like I'm a little bit humble on this. So let's put this thing together. Alright, so the instructions say first thing you want to do is attach these two brackets to these 4 screw holes with these 4 screws. So I've just got a nice little socket wrench, and we're going to attach that. Alright, I gotta really admit that these instructions could have been written by a gorilla for how useful they are. But fortunately, I pulled out the video from the Home Depot website, and that's clearing up a lot of the questions. Part of the issue I had was this little bracket here attaches to this piece here, and it wasn't clear which hole you went through. But the instructions make it look like it goes through this hole, this screw goes through this hole. But the problem is, once you get that done, you have to get this pin here to go through a hole that's on the tractor itself, and it didn't line up. And like I said, the instructions aren't really clear on that, but when I did look at the video on the internet, that helped clear that up. So we are making progress, but it's a little confusing. All right, so the video says the next thing you want to do is we want to attach this vertical piece here to it, and that's this piece here. And that just has little hooks here, and the hooks kind of go over this and lock into place. And then that piece gets locked into place with this wing nut and this bolt here. And then this big piece here just slides right onto this bracket like so, and then gets bolted into place with a socket wrench and a lock washer and a locking nut. I'm actually going to get both of them started here before we really crimp it down. Washer, locking nut. Oops. Twisted the way it locks here. Can't do that. Alright, that seems pretty secure. And then next, this piece just kind of snaps onto the bracket here, like so. And here. And then this piece just kind of snaps on here like that. Drops into place and locks in here. Then next we attach the lid and put the hinge in. Kind of locks into place like that. Then next we install the two bags. They just kind of sit on there. Then next we attach this bracket to the chute itself, and that's just a couple of bolts to go in here. And then this pin just slides through here, which was already part of the lawnmower. And it locks over this pin here, and this just becomes the chute that shoots the grass clippings or whatever up into the basket. All we gotta do now is attach the little tube at the end here, and we are done. And then the tube just kind of twists into place and locks in. It's got some threads that just kind of lock it into place. And then all you have to do is connect this piece here to there. And we are in business. Now what'll end up happening is anything that would normally shoot out the side now is going to get blown up into the basket here. And then when I fill it up, all I have to do is open up the lid, empty out the baskets into my leaf waste bags, and I'm in business. So one of the few complaints I saw from people that had this mechanism is they said that if you're dealing with like wet yard trimmings and stuff like that, it tends to get stuck in the tube. So since it's been sort of rainy out here today, I'm going to let everything kind of dry out for a couple days before we do too much back here. But in a couple days when this dries out, we're going to be able to vacuum all this stuff up, and hopefully we'll be able to make this a little bit of an easier process. It should also be a little easier when we're doing the mowing of the lawn, because in the past everything just shot out the side and it ended up in the yard, and I didn't like having inches and inches of yard waste in the yard when I was doing that. So what I'd always end up doing is blowing it out into the street and then sweeping it up out of the street. And that's kind of a mess, and it was kind of inefficient because that meant that I'd have to go, you know, this way in the yard and then flip back and then go this way again and then flip back, and it doubled the time it took me to do the yard. So I'm hoping that this will make things a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, and hopefully a little bit less of a mess. So I'm gonna let the lawnmower, I think, stay in the garage for a couple nights here while we get the rain out of the way, and then we'll come out here and try this. Now I'm gonna have to make sure that this mechanism will fit into the shed over here. That's going to be a big issue, but I might just end up being able to take off the side attachment and then have it fit in here. I don't think it's going to be an issue lengthwise, because when I opened up this thing and looked at it, you know, thinking about, okay, I'm gonna have an extra about 2 feet behind it, you know, there was about 2 feet or 3 feet of space from the back of the lawnmower to the door. So I don't think I'll have a problem leaving that on there all the time, but we're gonna try it and see what happens. So I've actually changed my mind. I'm actually gonna put this thing back in the shed and just make sure it fits in there. I can easily put the tube and the chute in the back bag when I'm not using it, and at that point it should all fit in here. So let's put it in the shed and make sure everything fits. All right, it's tight, but it's gonna fit, so that's good. We'll come back in here in a couple days, and when everything dries out, we're going to sweep up the whole yard and see what we can come up with. Oh, and next year I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave the cover on the pool a little longer. So I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.